optimize their platform. Number one is we're going to accelerate your lead conversion. Two is we're going to enhance your overall demand gen space. And the main reason why people are on this phone call in the first place, Mike, is just to boost your revenue potential so you can see some ROI come in. This slide basically is kind of throwing some meat on the bone and to show you what we've done in the past 4 years since we just hit our 4-year anniversary. That being said, we've set up over 270 million calls that have engaged in new and also our current clients. We've set up over 25 million direct interactions with buyers confirming purchase decisions. And lastly, we've set up over 700,000 appointments in general. This slide right here, these are our partners and clients that we've been with and working with from day one. Some not all day one, but second year, third year, even our fourth year, these companies have joined on board. So we work with every workspace out there that's known to mankind. I have case studies and I have success stories that I can shoot you via email just to kind of show you, what it is that we do works for these companies, no matter, again, what size it is. Before I get to how we generate your pipeline, I want to talk about the problem that's going to show these solutions. So you mentioned, you have a current AE and you don't feel like hiring a bunch of more AEs to pay for their base, their salary, their commission, their benefits, all that stuff. So what we do is we understand that, how do I say this? The lead verification from AEs can be somewhat inconsistent. So that's basically like a waste of money. And there's limited scalability and reach to these people. So our AI will have a 24/7 engagement with these individuals to make sure that they're not falling through the cracks, they're given the attention they deserve, and they will never be swept underneath the rug. So how do we go about solving those problems? Right here on the left-hand side, Mike. We use intent signals, which I will get to, kind of syndication, email, direct mail, and Google and Meta. So for this example of how we're going to generate pipeline for your business is we're going to make, let's say, 500 calls out per day, right? For all the people that are picking up their phone, Mike, the AI is going to have a pitch that you're going to agree with that either we'll create or you'll create. So that's basically like the icebreaker in a way. And then when the conversation is actually happening, the AI is going to ask these prospects qualified questions to make sure that they're a legitimate fit and not a waste of time for you. Because if they are a good fit, what they do is they ask them a date and time that work for them to follow up with you, or you follow up with them, and then they will put them in your schedule. So the job that the AI is supposed to do is just completely stack your schedule up with qualified people. Because when it's the date and time to call these individuals, your job is to read the summary of what was said during that first phone call. So that way, when you go in to close that person or generate pipeline, it's a lot easier. So the last option is basically a follow-up, which it happens all the time because, as you know this, not everybody picks up their phone calls. So what happens is, if a gentleman like you, Mike, is walking into the office, you got to go to your first meeting, you're already 5 minutes late. The AI gives you a call, you're like, I can't talk right now, I got to go to a meeting. The AI will have rebuttal and also overcome rejection. The last, when's a better time? The guy probably will shoot them off, 2 hours, got to go. All right, cool, that's fine. He said 2 hours. The AI is going to go ahead and know that in 2 hours, it's going to call John Doe and qualify him to make sure that he's a legitimate fit, because if he is, they're put in your schedule. If they read that he's not a good fit, they don't even bother doing that. Does that make sense of what I just explained, Mike?
So will the follow-up scheduling, how many times will the AI follow up?
Well, it wants to go through its list. So it'll go through it as much as possible until you decide that, all right, let's recycle this lead. I've had no traction with John Doe. Let's get him off our call log, and I'll put somebody else in there to go ahead and take his spot, essentially. So it just depends on the amount of calls that you're making per day. And I have a slide that I will get to in regard to that, okay?
Okay. Do you know, obviously you can run 24/7, but people are working in time zones. So does the tool know that if he calls someone at 4:30 on Eastern Standard Time, they're going to call him the next day and stuff like that?
So if it's 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, because you're obviously on the East Coast of New York, I would be damned if our AI would call somebody at, Hollywood, California at 5 in the morning. I would be an unhappy camper if I received a call at that early in the morning when I've not had, I don't even drink coffee, but the first cup of coffee. So that's something that I want you not to have to worry about because our AI will never go ahead and do that. And it's on a time schedule basically that operates. So once it's, let's say 11 o'clock over here Eastern, then it would be okay with calling the West Coast because now it's 8:30 in the morning. People are in the office. They've had their first cup of coffee, and we're hitting the ground running. So that I just wanted to put that in the back of your head here.
Okay.
Moving along, this is how our AI works. There's only two sides to it. We have the intelligence side and the output side. So what you get is real-time data insights down to every second. We spoke about the 24/7 availability, intent recognition, and my favorite is the continuous learning. So with all due respect, our AI has more knowledge in your nuclear space than you and all your colleagues combined. And again, I say that with all due respect. Our AI is, so I say scary in a good way because of number one, how humanly like it sounds, how much knowledge it has in every single space for every workforce that's out there. And it also absorbs every conversation that it has with individuals, puts it in its artificial brain, and will apply that on the next call, the following, etc., etc. That being said, on the output side, you're going to get higher conversion rates, pipeline progression, scheduled appointments. But the biggest thing here is nurtured leads. It will make sure that these people aren't forgotten about or sweat or sliding between the cracks. They will have these follow-ups with these people. It just depends how many calls you're going to make out per day. And if it's, let's say 500, they can at least maybe touch them twice at least. But the goal is to get them on the phone, hopefully the first time, so that way the AI can do its job by breaking the ice and making sure that they're legitimate for you to speak to, Mike.
On the, before you jump ahead, on the intelligence side, for the last slide, the input, you said the AI learns. Well, is there a way for us to look and see what the AI is learning? Like if we're offering four core services and we're finding out that this service
insights that come into play, so you can see everything on that. And by the way, I'm already going to say this probably in 5 minutes, but Mike, we're going to provide you with a project manager. You're probably thinking, oh, is it AI? No, it's not AI. But do we use their software? Yes. Right now, I probably have about 5,000 calls that are my exact voice, that have my pitch, my tone, my professionalism, all that. But for the project manager that we're going to supply you, she's based out of Florida, and she is great at what she does. She's like a rock star almost. So she's going to basically help you with the onboarding. She's going to help you build out your AI. She's going to decide if we want to go ahead and clone your voice, or we could use somebody with a British or French accent. It doesn't matter. Your job is to tell us your perfect AI that you envisioned in your head. Our job, Mike, is to go ahead and build it for you. And then the AI's job is to fill your schedule up with qualified people. Does that make sense?
No, I understand that piece of it. But my question was on the intelligence piece. If you've got, 3,000 calls that you've made, will we be able to, scan those with an AI and say what's working, what's not working?
Yes. Okay. And you're also going to see if these calls were also completed. Did this person hang up? Did the call get lost? You're able to see of how long these conversations are actually going for, whether it's 20 minutes, 7 minutes, all that stuff.
Okay. I'm good on the output.
Okay, no worries. So this is what we call our sales funnel that we use here at Live Human AI. We're a company that goes from top to bottom, no matter where you are, and let's say your buyer's journey or how big your company is. But to be transparent with you, I'd say 90% of the people that I speak with, they're going to fall at the top of the funnel in the awareness stage. So essentially, Mike, this is our AI making the outbound calls to introduce the leads to your service, your company, your business, your product, what have you. So I feel as though from the conversation that we're having, you would be at the top of the funnel of the awareness stage because you mentioned after COVID happened, people started working from home. Not many are really picking up their cell phones. So it was hard to get people in business in that regard. So what we're going to do is we're going to excel that so that way you can see the ROI that you were seeing prior to COVID. This slide right here, this is what I call our secret sauce or the golden circle, if you will. The goal is to get you pipeline generated, and we can do that in a couple of ways. Emails and texts, inbound calling, and outbound calling too as well. We can do 2 out of the 2, all 3, but we can also do all the above where we get the intent data. Now, this is important, Mike, what I'm about to tell you, so become all ears. We sell buyer intent data, and we also give it included in 2 out of the 3 packages that we offer. The buyer intent data are warm leads that we have in a database of 300 million contacts. So, to give you this example, we work with every single workspace that's out there, again, known to mankind. We want to scrub the data of the 300 million individuals and only give you people or qualified prospects that are, as of right now, on their computers typing in keywords that surround, nucleus, or not nucleus, but nuclear activity in this case. So we can see how many times they're on Google typing in those words, how many times they're downloading certain white papers, how many times they're going to your competitors' websites and clicking on certain things. Once we have an understanding of that, Mike, then we can basically have an understanding of their buyer's journey. Like, are you in the early stage? Are you in the middle stage? Are you in the final stage? So what we would do is only give you individuals that are typing in those keywords and in the earlier mid stage. Because number one, it would be pointless for me to send you somebody in the late stage. Reason being, they're about to pull the trigger with somebody else, and that's going to become a waste of your time, and time is money. The last thing basically is, with the buyer intent data, you just want to go ahead and use this to your advantage because it kind of gets your foot in the door, and it gets like a snowball effect to give you contacts that you don't have already. So you may have, let's say, 12,000 contacts. That's totally fine. We can integrate your Go High Level CRM with us. We can have our AI call those 12,000 contacts, but we would also give you contacts too as well. So it would be pointless for us to give you individuals that are looking to get, their dentist office to have more flow, or somebody's looking to get their chimney swept, or somebody buying their first home, for example. That's just a waste of time. So what we do is we just scrub that data and we give you warm leads to just break it down. Does that make sense?
So your main output is, and we use Seamless AI to get our list for the clients we target. But irregardless, if you've got data, that's fine. The 2 pieces, so your main outreach is outbound call and email text.
And inbound too, but yes, correct.
Okay. So right now you have, I found you guys through Facebook. Do you guys do anything with Facebook? You got Facebook packages?
We have ads that we done with Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, Google, and that's it.
Okay. So your main focus is these channels.
Yep. Outlets, whatever. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
That's fine. Because actually, before we started running any ads, I was doing a lot of cold calling myself to get people like yourself, Mike, interested. So I would have to, make, let's say, 100 plus calls a day, make sure that, you're a good fit for it, because I don't want to waste my time, nor do I want to waste yours. So now that we started running these ads and we've been putting things out on social media platforms, they're clicking into it and then they're joining us. And then I'm doing the demos with somebody like you because of how you heard of us on whatever platform that was out there.
Yeah.
Okay. Moving along here. We do emails and texts, as you just mentioned, and we have a workflow automation chart that we can build out for you. That's going to be our project manager's job. So basically, it's common sense. We pick times that you want to have text messages be sent out to these individuals. We can wait a certain time period, like 2 hours, until we send them a reminder morning email. And then maybe another hour goes by, we give them one more email, and then 2 hours later, give them a text message or a phone call. So Tanya, the individual that we're going to set you up with, the project manager, she's going to go ahead and help you build this out, because no individual's workflow automation chart since I've been here for 7 months, none of them have been the same. And there's not an identical AI that somebody like you creates that I created, or Tanya created for somebody a month ago or 6 months ago. It doesn't matter. Each one is very unique to their own person who's creating it, because everybody has different businesses, even if they are still in the same field. Now, before I get into the onboarding, I just want to show you the app, which is basically what Tanya is going to help you with. So basically, we have to pick out a voice here, Mike. We can do male or female. We can give it accents, different personalities, all that jazz. But for this example, let's just say we're going to use your voice. So now we got Mike's voice that we're going to use for every single call. Now we need to come up with a script. A script is very common. It's common sense. You can put it as like a 1 or 2 liner. you can give us a script that you've been using for the past 37 years, or we can come up with a script for you and we can embed it into the AI. Once we have your voice and script down, now it comes out to the conversations. We're able to see, was it a completed call? Did they hang up? How long was the conversation for? 20 minutes, 7 minutes, 5. But your job is to basically read the summary to see, okay, John Doe expressed interest in XYZ. This is when they're looking to purchase. This is their budget. This is the date and time that they have to speak. Before you go into that, just read it. Then you can go into that call with your head held high and hopefully close them out within that week or that month. The last thing you mentioned right at the beginning of our conversation, you talked about campaigns. Every package that we have a certain amount of campaigns. They go from 1, 5 to 10. So if you're, let's say, doing 500 calls a day and you pick our platinum package, which is the most popular, you're going to get 5 active campaigns that you can call from. So every campaign can, let's say, have 100 calls go out for each. You don't have to use all 5, but I'm giving you an example just so you can put that in the back of your head too as well, because that is important. So the last 2 things that I want to show you is, number 1, just the onboarding process, a little chart to show you percentages, and then finally what you came on here for too as well is to see the pricing. So the onboarding process might take typically about a week, 7 days at most. So you would essentially, for an example, pay the platinum package invoice that Tanya would send out. Then you would get an email to do the onboarding call. That's going to be the date and time that work for you that Tanya can hop on for it. So once she does, she's going to basically help you build out your AI to where you give us 2 thumbs up. If there's, for some reasons that, during the testing phase when we're tweaking it, then we're going to just make sure that we're doing exactly what you want, because when you give us the thumbs up, then we begin the soft launch. We fully optimize it, and then the last stage is basically just doing a full launch and letting that bad boy just do its thing, book leads, qualify them, and put them in your schedule.
So how do you manage, I guess the question is, how do you manage the Go High Level integration and the domain setups and the calendars for booking appointments?
Gotcha. So, since you just brought that up, I'll just show you this. So the AI does a lot of that stuff for you. So for example, if I were to go to like my calendars for today, and these were all my calendars invites that I had today, and this is what essentially I want your schedule to look like, where you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 plus meetings a day that you and your single other account executive can call to see, okay, they've been qualified, the AI thinks that they're a good fit. Now you just got to sniff out to see, are they actually legitimate with their funding that they told the AI, for example. So you'll be able to see the conversations too as well with what's happening with the AI and also these prospects. So for example, if I wanted to reach out to you, I would type in your name. I could say, hey, Mike, I see that you're asking to request, an extra 30-minute period because something came up. We can have our AI respond back to that of saying, okay, we'll see you in another 30 minutes since you're canceling this meeting. So you'll have vision and access to all this basically. And of course, opportunities that are rising.
So you guys
create categories of this person just needs a little bit of time. This person's a hot lead, follow up with it next week. Or this one, they've already paid and won and closed the deal, for example. So
you guys are using Go High Level as your main platform? And
yes.
The only reason I ask that is because we are using Go High Level, and I already have the 5 different email domains set up. I do have a Twilio. I don't. Well, maybe or maybe not. I have a Twilio account we can use. But, anyways, how would you integrate? What would I envision seeing in Go High Level if we purchase this package? Would you be new menu items, or are we using your platform? I'm just trying to understand.
When you say new, when you say new menu items, you mean over here, on this side?
Well, how do you integrate into Go High Level, like my existing platform? What would I see different if I was using your tool? Or would I run into...
There's going to be nothing different, Mike. It's all going to look the same. So that way, when you go into it, it's almost just like you're logging into your own exact one, like identically.
Okay, but there would just be would there just be additional, like the calendar would get populated, the conversations
Yeah,
would get
maybe an additional
populated, stuff
calendar
like
or
that.
some extra contacts that we would have. Like, for example, we could have one of these say buyer intent data contacts,
Yeah.
whereas the contacts that you already have, they can already be in here, for example. So
Okay.
it may just be like one or two things that you may see different, but everything's going to be the same exact as if you were logging in to your just daily Go High Level account. Okay.
Yeah, and I'm really asking that for two things. One, of ease of use, because I already have a lot of stuff set up. Not stuff that you're doing, but from a training perspective for my account executive, he's
Mm-hmm.
currently familiar with GHL. So that is a benefit.
I like GA. It's one of my favorite that I've used because I know there's like Salesforce, there's HubSpot, there's a bunch of them out there. But just as a something food for thought, we actually integrate and work with every single CRM system that
Yep.
is out there. So it just doesn't have to focus on Go High Level. It just so happens that we use it and we like it. So I already went over the onboarding. These are just some statistics that we have from a lot of industries that we work with. Not every industry is up there. The reason being, the ones that are shown here are the ones that I would say are the most successful. Like, do we work with chimney sweepers? Yes, but are they going to be on here? Not necessarily. But if you're, let's say, in IT, then yeah, of course, IT services, we have that up there too. But I can give you.
How does your AI handle some of the problems we've had with the cold calling where they don't provide directory structures anymore. They don't answer the call. They drop you into a general mailbox. You leave a message. They don't call you back. Some of those things that a lot of companies have installed on their platforms.
Yeah, it's a lot of running around. And obviously, from what I said earlier, the hardest part is getting these people on the phone and catching their interest. Because all it takes is one little thing to go ahead and turn somebody off, and then they hang up the phone. It's like, okay, when am I going to speak to John Doe again? Another 2 months? Like, no.
Yeah.
So,
how have you guys handled that challenge? I guess it's a known fact that that's an issue, and if I'm going to commit into cold calling, we do about 30 to 50 a day, and those are the barriers that we've been running into.
All right. Well, that's good to know because I was just about to ask that question because I like to follow up with how much call volume are you looking to do? So that being said, the next steps, Mike, are I'm going to show you pricing. It's going to go from right to left, small, medium to large. So this is the smallest, proof of concept. Platinum is the medium. AI Advanced is the large. So I just want you to take a thorough look. I'll make it bigger for you so that we don't squint.
Yeah.
Just take a look at that really quickly. There's no rush. I just want to get a drink of water.
Okay.
1 second.
Go ahead. So just looking through some of these things, so the setup fee what are some of the key things that happen during the setup other than understanding what our business is? Is it setting up your calling agent? Is it setting up campaigns within the Go High Level environment so that it's going to be automated? Just trying to understand the work involved with the setup and timing.
Yeah, it does all of that. And like I mentioned a little bit ago, Tanya, our project manager, she's the one that's going to go ahead and help you with all of the above that you just mentioned. So it's not like you got to sit there and twiddle your thumbs. It's like, oh, do I have to be worried about this? Do I have to do this myself? Do I need to hire somebody? Do I need my account executive to do this, this, and this? No. Tanya's going to take care of you guys along the way. I don't want to say hold your hand because you're a grown man, but she will hold your hand along the way to make sure that if you have questions, they're answered. And if there's anything else that you need in terms of, God knows what, she will go ahead and provide that for you because we even have a bigger team that can respond to your questions if needed. But she's going to be your main point of contact once you paid an invoice and you pick your onboarding date to go do all the above of what you just mentioned.
So
We do that.
so the 500 calls per day and emails per day, is that a total? We really don't do a lot of text messages because we're B2B.
That's fine. That's just included. We do that
Yeah.
because it's just an extra feature that people like. Oh well, I just spoke to SalesApe.ai and they're only doing 250 calls a day and they're not doing any text messages or emails. But I see with you guys, you're making 500 calls. You're giving us 500 leads right off the bat, and you're actually giving us 500 AI texts and emails too. It's like that's just a no-brainer right there. We're doing all this extra stuff that the competitors, who we think are competitors because we don't look at us having competition, they're trying to duplicate or replicate what we're doing, and nobody's succeeding at that. Which is why we're still the first movers in this space. We're the top AI company, and we're a white glove done for you model, which basically means you're able to focus on all the tasks that you need to focus on per day, while you let our AI do all the hard work. Essentially, all you got to do is just close the people, Mike.
Yeah, that's the one thing that I was thinking about. Now, what's not listed in the platinum package, and maybe it's just so you talked about earlier the your database as far as number of like potential people we could reach out to. Like we use Seamless AI, but you guys have your own database with 300 or 3 million people. Would that be something that we would query and plug into here?
Yes. So with your accounts or contacts that you have, you already use Go High Level. So we can just have, it's going to be easier for us to integrate. Our AI is just going to call those people that you want that are cold leads to become warm, and then obviously close deal. And then of course, we're still going to have our AI call the buyer intent data that we're going to give you. That's included in this package.
Oh, so buyer intent data 500. You only get 500 buyer intent data, but you're doing 500. You're getting 500. It doesn't
mean that you can't find more data.
Okay, so that's what I'm getting at is so buyer intent data. If I get 500, that's just one day of calls. So I'm going to have to populate this with, if you're looking at 2,500, you're doing 10,000 per week. I'm going to have to populate this with a significant amount of potential contacts, which I can get out of Seamless AI. It's just so I'd have to.
It doesn't matter how many contacts that you want to go ahead and integrate or upload to our.
No, I'm just saying I've got to get the volume of getting quality data. I don't want to call someone who needs a puppy sitter or whatever, right? I gotta get enough quality data loaded into Go High Level so that this can call 500 a day. So it's going to add up really quick.
Now that makes sense.
That's what I'm getting at.
And that's a good thing that you're just kind of thinking like outside the box too as well, because I try to position that to people that you also don't want to bite off more than you can chew. Like, granted, the budget's not an issue for you at all, but it's more say like if we were to go with the platinum, 500 calls a day is a lot. Like, if you're starting to have all these people come into your schedule, it's like, wow. It's like you have one other account executive that can help close the deal, and it's like, are you guys taking in more than what you guys can like actually do? So I always try to have people make sure that they're not overkilling themselves. But
if somebody went with the smaller package, 50 calls, that's $250 a week, and that includes follow-ups. So if you're doing 50 calls, maybe you're doing 40 new ones and 10 follow-ups. What percentages do you kind of build out for that as far as callbacks?
So in terms of, I'd say just our close rate percentage could be like around 15%. And then as long as the people are showing up and showing interest, which again, we have real-time data insights that will show all that stuff for you, it's going to be much more higher. I'm not going to say significantly high, but it's going to be higher than if you were just to do this cold calling yourself, because now the AI is going to do all this for you, and it's going to make sure that these are legitimate people that have the money and that want to work with a company or organization or business like yourself.
Yeah. That's why I'm thinking about the throughput. as far as, can we start with one plan and switch to another? Is that
100%. So to give you that example, if you were to start with the proof of concept, and I have a lot of case studies and success stories where people are on the smaller side of doing the proof of concept, and then next thing you know, 1, 2, or 3 months down the road, they're like, "Hey Ben, we've been selling our product like hotcakes. Let's go ahead and upgrade to the platinum." That is totally fine. There's just more stuff that we're going to have to go ahead and integrate a little bit. So you would just pay the difference of the setup fee, essentially.
Okay. And then the monthly fee.
Yep.
So you showed two different platforms. One is Go High Level, which it's going to run under, but then you showed another platform which shows all the calls, all the tracking.
Yeah, that's
all
going to
this
be
stuff.
the Live Human app, and that's her background into that
Okay.
thing. I'm on the sales, aspect or side of things, where she's the one that's like the nitty gritty, technical, in depth with everything that involves tech savvy stuff.
So the Live Human piece is where you're setting up all the contacts, the call tracing, all that other stuff, and then the conversations and the calendars are getting scheduled through Go High Level. Is that my understanding, Big Lip?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep. It's very self-explanatory. It's easy, and we want to make sure that it's as easy for you as possible. We don't want to make this seem like it's rocket science, because it may seem like it just because it's AI, but in reality, Mike, it's not. It's common sense.
Yeah, I do. We do a lot of work with AI, so I'm fine.
Well, then you already have a background in understanding, how it works. So it's good to know that I'm speaking to somebody that has somewhat of an idea of what AI is, just because some people don't. But what I'm liking to do, just because I realized I just went over 10 minutes over my meeting. Yeah, I know. I want to go ahead and set up a follow-up / decision call, unless you need some time, unless you're good to go now, or you just need some time to go ahead and just kind of think about what this is, and we can talk about, the pricing again.
Yeah, let me run this by my account executive, because if we do go with this is all going to fall on him. So
that's fine. So I'm going to show you some case studies, success stories. I can even send you the Fireflies video as well, so that way he can see the pricing and all that stuff. He just kind of has to fast forward to it.
That's fine. That would be helpful, and I can walk through it with him, because he's going to have some questions about it. But,
perfect. I appreciate that. So that being said,
let's do that as far as next steps.
So let's see, where are you at? Contacts, Mike and E. Perfect. So, when can we follow up this week in regards to where we're at or which direction we're heading?
Just 1 second. Let me look at my calendar.
Take your time.
Yeah, next week, Tuesday and Wednesday are good. I don't have time this week.
Okay, so you said Tuesday or Wednesday, correct?
Yeah, that'll give me time to run my account guy through.
Perfect. And were you talking about Wednesday this week or next week, just to clarify?
Next week, Wednesday or Thursday. Tuesday or Wednesday next week.
Tuesday is September 30th, and you're Eastern Standard Time. So what time would you want, Mike? Would you want like 9 a.m. or?
We can do 10 a.m.
Okay, 10 a.m. works.
Yeah, so send me that attachment. I got the case studies on your website, unless you had other ones to share. But the slide
I got
deck
a couple other things that I'll go ahead and shoot you to as well. So I'm just adding the new meeting for next week. This will be more of a decision call, and then we'll do the 30th. These people need to chill. I'm getting all these messages right now. And you said 10.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Okay. 10 a.m. works. Book appointment. Oh my freaking god. Okay. All right, Mike. Well, I have everything that's here that I need on my end. I have updated my notes. All I have to do is just shoot you the email with the video that was recording us.
Okay.
And we'll be set in stone, okay?
Sounds good.
All right, Mike. You have a great week, and we'll follow up next week. Okay.
Thanks, Ben.
Take care.